Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the SuSanity Life Show here on Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. My name is SuSanity Ouellette. I am the host here at this awesome radio show where we are all about Worcester community and bringing people together. I'm also the owner of SuSanity in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, where healing and wellness meets peace of mind. So if you're looking for massage or Reiki on fire, which is polarity or intuitive coaching and guiding, I am your girl. You can find me at SuSanityLife.com. Super excited for this year. I've been selling tons of gift certificates. So excited. People are finding me. I've had this amazing awakening, even more than I already did over the past couple years and stuff. Things are just really rising up for a lot of us, right? Because right now we're in a transitional phase of life. The energy is shifting. The planets are shifting. The world is shifting, and only certain people can see the truth, right? So it's hard to understand the truth. And so today I decided to have somebody join me who I love, and she's near and dear to my heart. And we met in a fluke way at this awesome business opportunity for business acceleration program at E4All. And we had this amazing connection to the point where like we would talk on the phone once in a while during it and stuff, after it was over. And it was just really amazing. And when I met her, there was something about her that drew me to her. I can't explain it, but you guys know me. You know how I'm drawn to things. Her name is Tamara, and she's the owner of Mozelle's Sweet Bakery Sweet Shop. Right? Yeah. And she's going to tell you how she got that name, which we talked about on the phone. And I was so happy that she did that because originally she was Berry's Sweet Confections. And I was like, well, that's cool. But I think there's something deeper inside of you that needs to come out. Right. And as you guys know what I do for a living. So it kind of like we were just drawn to each other and it was an amazing thing. So she's going to talk a little bit and introduce herself in 1 second. But I always read Jesus Calling before we start. Today is December 17th. I can't believe Christmas is next week. My brain is like, I finally ordered gifts off Amazon. Don't even know really if I got the right things and need to go to Marshall's. And how about you guys? Did you do your shopping? I know people did you do your shopping yet?
No.
So I know people that do their shopping in June, July, August, September, October. And by the time December, Christmas comes, they're done. And I'm like, I haven't even started.
But I did something interesting. I did advent calendars. So, yeah.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a second. All right. So it says, come to me with your gaping emptiness, knowing that in me you are complete. As you rest quietly in my presence, my light within you grows brighter and brighter. Facing the emptiness inside you is simply the prelude to being filled with my fullness. Therefore, rejoice on those days when you drag yourself out of bed feeling sluggish and inadequate. Tell yourself that this is perfect day to depend on me in childlike trust. So see, it's going back to your inner child. It's going back to that core of you that may have been sleeping for a long time. If you persevere in this dependence as you go through the day, you will discover at bedtime that joy and peace have become your companions, right? At bedtime, joy and peace have become your companions. You may not realize at what point they joined you on your journey, but you will feel the beneficial effects of their presence. The perfect end to such a day is a doxology of gratitude. I am he from whom all blessings flow.
Amen.
I am he from all blessings flow. So today I had a client that came in and we had a long talk about a lot of things. And she definitely has, we're very connected in many ways. Her life, my life, it kind of cojoined and stuff. It was interesting. And we were talking about God and how she lost her way to God. And I was like, well, I lost my way many times to him, but I found my way back. And, it's not about believing something, that everyone else believes in. It's about you finding your own path and you finding the own way to believe in what you want to believe in, but to have the knowledge that no matter what you believe, you're never in control of anything. And I think that that's the hardest part. So we try to control things, right, Tamara? We try to control things at times and things like that. And sometimes we can't. So that's how we're going to open up the show. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So when I sent you the invite, or I don't even know, when I created the Facebook page, it said your name was Tamara Darling. And so originally I had created it and put Tamara Berry. Then I took it off of Facebook because I was like, wait a minute, that's not her name on Facebook. What am I doing? I'm like, what? And then, and so anyway, I thought it was really interesting. So your name is Tamara Berry.
Yes.
But you chose Tamara Darling on your Facebook page.
That's correct.
So tell our viewers who you are and tell a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So my name's Tamara Berry, as Susan mentioned. I am from Worcester, born and raised, and I have a local bakery. I actually bake out of the Worcester Regional Food Hub, which is located at 2 Washington Square. It was a program that started, I was part of the pilot program. It started in 2019 for food entrepreneurs, and some grant money that came through. It was a last minute decision. One of my cousins coaxed me into signing up. I did it with 15 minutes to spare for the deadline, ended up getting into the program. It has definitely changed my business approach, and just helped me to move myself from just baking at home, being just somebody who bakes rather than a professional. And so they helped me with developing my business name, getting licensed, insured, all of those things that go with legitimizing the business. And at the time, I was Very Sweet Confections. I used my last name because I used what I had. And about the time that you and I met, which was through EFRAL, and I feel exactly the same way, that it was an instant connection. And so I was really grateful for you. You helped me stay focused. I had been thinking about changing my name, and people that I randomly asked were like, oh no, it's great. Very Sweet Confections. It's cute. And I'm like, I don't do cute, right? So I want to elevate my business. And I was having a breakdown, because I think that if you don't have any breakdowns, you don't really have a business. I was having a breakdown with with 2 of my mentors, and we were just talking. They just started asking me questions about how I got started. And the conversation, as most times, it always starts with my grandmother. And I just started talking for about 20 minutes, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And they said, what? I'm like, I've been sitting on this name my whole life. And I said, Mozelle's. I'm like, it's exactly what I do. It's exquisite. It's beautiful. It's not cute. It's strong. It carries weight. And so that's when Mozelle's Sweet Shop, erected. Unfortunately, my grandmother wasn't here for that. She passed away in 2013, but yeah, it's an ode to her.
So I have chills. Like
I won't
always,
cry.
I always have chills. So when of course, her and I were in EFRAL, which is a business acceleration program, and I had already opened my business. I had been open for quite a few years, but there was something that was calling to me for whatever reason. And so when I signed up for that program, which is amazing, by the way, it has its things, you know what I mean? But when you kind of like overcome all the things, you have to realize that even though it has those things, so do you. And so part of that whole thing, and part of everything really, when you have any type of session, like any type of energy healing session, or even just learning a different journey, like through EFRAL or any program, you have to come to terms with yourself in a way that you've never had to. Whether you're in college, you open a business, you go to a different church, whatever it is, you are finding another path that you may not have even known existed inside of you. And in order to be able to do things like that, you have to let go of a lot of things. And that's not easy. Not easy at all. And I think that's kind of what Tamara was just telling you guys. So that's kind of what happened to me after the motorcycle accident, is that, I was going through a lot of different things in my life. I felt inadequate, not enough, this, that. I didn't know if I was a good mom. I didn't know if I was a good daughter. I didn't know if I was a good wife at the time. I didn't know. I didn't really understand any of it. And so I kept searching for that one thing that would fill my heart and my soul in a way that only I could do. So we search outside of us for every single thing that we need when it's already inside of us. And that's why I read Jesus Calling. And that's why I loved when I met Tamara, because when we would be on the phone, she would be telling, we would be talking during, not during class, but like after class was over most times. And we would just talk about different things. And she would pull me out of my nonsense and I would pull her out of hers. And we needed that to be able to finish, which we did. We both finished, by the way. We won awards and all kinds of stuff, which was amazing. But it gave her the opportunity to look at herself in a way that she never had. And I think her grandmother 100% was pushing her to do something. But because of the way that we are raised and because of the way that we grow up and the things that we hear from other people on the outside sources, we never really understand the reason why we're getting the messages that we're getting.
Yeah.
When the only message that we really need to worry about is the one inside of us and the one that comes from God. And so when I met you, I knew that. And when you and I connected even stronger, it got stronger.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And that's why there were many times where I was like, I would be like, all right, I need to talk her down. She needs to talk me down. Because here I am, a mother of 3 kids. I had already gone through something crazy at the time that I hadn't even told anyone about, that I was going through at that time. And then a bunch of other stuff. And she knew about it and never told a single soul. God bless her.
I did not.
It was something that I had to go through, though. If I didn't go through that, I wouldn't have understood the reason why I had to go through it. And now I do.
Yeah.
So everything that we go through in life is meant to awaken our soul that has been sleeping for I don't know how long. So that being said, you have a history of other things too, but what was your childhood like? Like, because that's what we need to. We need to go back to a little bit more about your childhood, a little bit more about, like, were there things that you knew, like as a kid, like say you woke up and you had like a deja vu, or, there was something that you just ate at you, like you were talking about crocheting and you were talking about fashion and you were talking about all these things. Like, were those the things that really filled you up as a child, do you feel? Was it Christmas? Was it holidays? I mean, what it was,
my whole life has been centered around my grandmother. That's probably been like some of my happiest moments. Really silly things going to the market with her. But my mom would tell a story that I was around some young cousins and I was older, but they didn't know how much older I was. And they wanted to play with me. And she was like, oh, she doesn't play in the dirt. And she's like, even when she does, she makes the prettiest mud pies. And I thought about that. And I was,
that's so funny because I totally see that.
I thought about that and I said, maybe that's where it began. And I remember just playing in the mud, making mud pies, but they were, perfectly done. Nothing, just I never like to get dirty. So I don't know. I had nothing over the top childhood. Thank God, nothing traumatic. Yeah. Pretty normal. Relatively normal, raised by a single parent. My grandmother was definitely in my life, a part of my everyday life. As with my other cousins, she took us to school every day. She picked us up from school. She drove us to school. We spent the weekends at her house when we didn't live with her. So I don't know, it's always just been centered really around her.
Love that. So we're going to talk more about that when we come back.
Yeah.
So we are going to go on a quick break. We'll be right back though. My name is SuSanity Ouellette. I am the host here at the SuSanity Life Show on Unity Radio 97.9 FM, which is Community Connection, and the owner of SuSanity in Sturbridge, Mass. My website is SuSanityLife.com. If you're looking for a healing session, please look at me because I'm pretty good at what I do. Sorry, I'm giving myself a shout out because I'll tell you why when I come back, because I just had a polarity session. But I'm here with Tamara Berry, and we're going to talk more about her grandmother and the guidance that she gave her during Ephraim and then really throughout her whole life. So we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Karosha from Kingdom Voice and Music. On behalf of Unity Radio, I'd like to wish you all a happy holiday season.
Are you ready?
Hi, I'm Gary.
And I'm Steve.
And we're the host of Cannabis 101 on Unity Radio 97.9 FM.
Join us and our guests on Thursdays at 3 p.m. as we discuss the cannabis industry in Central Mass with energy, excitement, and passion.
We both take pride in providing you important information about the rapid growing cannabis industry. Support for Cannabis 101 is provided by Cannabis of Worcester on Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection.
Tune into the SuSanity Life with Susan T. Ouellette. And together, we will find our way to a healthier, healing lifestyle by listening to empowering stories of overcoming our struggles. Join me, Susan T. Ouellette, on the SuSanity Life every Wednesday from 5 to 6 on Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. See you soon.
At KivaCenters.org, we believe every story matters and healing starts with being heard. The Kiva Centers are here to explore the paths of mental health, recovery, and wholeness with you. Visit KivaCenters.org, a statewide leader in peer-led support and recovery services, from Worcester to Western Mass. More information is available at KIVACenters.org. Kiva is lighting the way forward.
Support for Unity Radio 97.9 FM is provided by United Way of Central Mass, aiming to improve the community and break the cycle of poverty, and the Woosocks Foundation, seeking to make dreams come true for families in areas of education, social justice, recreation, and conquering cancer. Unity Radio, Worcester's Community Connection.
This is Unity Radio 97.9 Worcester.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. This is the SuSanity Live Show, and I am the host here at the SuSanity Live Show. My name is Susan T. Ouellette. Again, I'm the owner of SuSanity in Sturbridge at SuSanityLife.com, too. And I wanted to kind of talk a little bit. We're going to get back into Tamara's journey, because it's amazing, her journey. And the more that she's going to talk, the more she's going to see how amazing that it really is. But if you guys have never heard of polarity, I'm going to tell you that polarity is like Reiki on fire. Okay. I'm a teacher at Spa Tech in Westboro, and I tend to, like a lot of us as healers and just human beings, not take care of ourselves. Right. So we have a day that's really awful. And instead of like going to take care of ourselves and doing something that we enjoy, we go to bed, we watch TV, we play on our phone, whatever. Right. We don't heal ourselves. So I'm a healer for the healers. So everybody that comes to SuSanity, they either have gone through something in their life, whether it's trauma, toxic, abuse, addiction, you name it, because they're healers. Tamara's a healer. Oscar's a healer. I'm a healer. Ernie, the owner of the radio station, he is a healer. We're all healers in some way or another. And how you figure that out is by allowing yourself to figure it out, right? So the teacher, Wendy, my teacher, my boss now actually, but she was my teacher when I was in school. She said, "Do you want to have a polarity session today?" And I was like, at Spa Tech in Westboro. And I was like, yeah. So I put it on the schedule and everything. And polarity, you guys, it's the living science of balancing the energy fields of the body and the healing art of revitalizing the life force inside of you. It works on every level. Although the work is done on the physical body, there is no separation between the body, mind, emotions, and spirit. Spirit can also be called the life force. Spirit, Holy Spirit, life force, God, the creative force, or just that feeling when we sense we are really ourselves. The theory behind polarity is that you are learning is that when our physical structure, energy fields, thought processes, and the subtle energies of the energy fields and chakras are in balance, we experience wholeness, clarity, and energy. We have the opportunity to really manifest our life force through the physical body. We become radiant, creative beings, able to be in the moment, move fully, and contribute fully. I'm reading this to you because my student, Jacob, who I taught, is graduating on January 8th. All of them are, and I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of what they're doing because they had to heal themselves to get there, right? And it's not easy to do that. He did my session today. I fell asleep, but I fell asleep in a different space. Like I didn't even know I fell asleep. And then he was done and I woke up and I was like, I asked him a couple things if he did. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, you were snoring on the table. Funny. And I was like, okay. And then we sat down and he did a couple cards, medicine cards. And he said something to me that hit home in a way that I can't. He said, I don't think you realize how much of an impact that you have on us here and on every single person that you're connected to. And I think you should understand that more. He said, because Sue, I am where I am now because of you and because of this school. That felt so good because I was going through something lately that has really been crushing at my soul. And every time I pray on it, I hear, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You're fine. Don't worry. But I still have that stuff inside, right? That bothers me, right? And so if you feel that and you feel the need to be awoke, heard, seen, cared for, loved, understood, then polarity might be just for you. So anyway, I wanted to read that real quick. And then I want to show you these awesome Mozelle sweet shop bars that she gave me. I'm so excited. What are these? These are Dubai.
They are Dubai shortbread. Well, wait a minute. They're chocolate Dubai shortbread bars.
So she said, if you like a Kit Kat,
You'll love them.
you'll love them.
But if you hate a Kit Kat, which I do, you'll still love them.
You'll still love it. So this is what she does. So she takes her mind, her heart, and her soul, and she creates amazing products.
Thank you.
Bakery things, cakes. If you saw her cakes, you'd be like, what? And she puts her heart and soul into all of it. And she listens to the people that are asking her to create something. And she puts their life and their energy into her baking.
Thank you.
That's what she does. So if you're looking for a cake or a cookie or anything like that, just know that her heart is 100% in what she does. And so is her grandmother's, who's not with us, by the way. And I think that that's beautiful. I think that's amazing. And you can find her. We'll have all the links and she'll tell you the links and everything like that. But she didn't just get here willy-nilly automatic. She grew up in Worcester. She went to a Catholic school like me.
Yeah.
That's fun, huh? She went to Fanning Trade. I did too.
Did you?
Yep. David Hill
Yeah.
Fanning.
Oh gosh. Okay.
We're so connected.
Yes.
Why did I not know that?
I don't know.
Forgot because my brain is just not.
No, I don't. I didn't tell it.
And then you went to design school
I did.
because you thought that fashion was the way. But prior to even understanding the idea of fashion, your grandmother taught you how to crochet.
She did.
So before you even learned about the baking side of that, like she showed you. Tell us about that. Tell us what that was like with the grandmother.
You know, I
what did
think
you call her, Graham?
No, Mummy.
Mummy. Okay.
Mummy. Yeah. And the great grands called her Mummy.
Mummy. Okay.
So I think I would sit with her. Sometimes we weren't really talking about anything, but if you sat with her long enough, she'd tell you about climbing trees when she was growing up as a kid. You just had to spend some time sitting at her feet. And we all had an opportunity to, but I was especially, she just was everything for me growing up. And so I especially made time to always just sit with her because I knew something would come. And sometimes it was nothing. Sometimes she would just sit in quiet and I'd say, what are you thinking? And she's like, I'm not thinking anything. I'm just, she'd just be twiddling her thumbs. And I'm like, there's such peace about her. So being in her presence was just a good feeling always. Even silly things, do you remember when Michael Jackson, the Pepsi Cola incident,
Yes.
So my mom is like,
When his hair caught on fire.
yeah. So my mom is watching me having a hysterical breakdown. Like she's just like, get up off the floor. My grandmother's like, baby, he's got enough money. He's going to be okay. And I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, we don't have to cry about him. But
What an amazing soul he was. Did you see a movie's coming out about him?
No.
A movie's coming out about him and his son is playing him.
Oh, okay. I kind of gotten over my Michael Jackson phase. It took a while,
I still
but
love him. The moves.
Yeah, absolutely. An
This
entertainer.
is my whatever. Yeah.
Definitely an entertainer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my grandmother she was just always present with all of the grandchildren. She knew what we liked for desserts. She knew what the favorite food was. She made a point to really just pour into us that way through her art of, feeding us just more than just our, physical bodies.
So when you're baking, I'm only asking this question because my grandmother, my Nana, we called her Nana. She's my mom's mom, and we lived in a 3-decker. So my grandmother and grandfather were on the 3rd floor.
So did we.
My Aunt Helen and Uncle Charlie were in the middle, and then we were on the bottom floor. And so it was always open. You could run upstairs, run downstairs. My grandfather had his pipe. He's always piping his pipe and whatever. And I was always upstairs with my grandparents. Yeah. They died when I was younger, but anyway, so she made this cake, and I'm not even sure but I know that it had a special flour that my grandfather would have to go drive and get this flour at some place. And it was like a chocolate chip cake with like a white kind of frosting that you could never find. And she died with the recipe.
Interesting. So I do have, my grandmother also, there's certain frostings.
If you have that recipe like that, I am going to lose it. You're going to make that for me because I'm telling you, it was like,
it's not sweet. Was it, so it was done with the flour? Was the buttercream done with the flour?
It was, yeah.
It's an ermine buttercream. That's the only.
It had like little tiny like chocolate chips with like.
So she would have added that. So that wasn't, So ermine frosting, that's how my uncle has to have his red velvet cake. So whenever he comes into town, he's like, you've got to make it the way mommy made it. So it's the ermine frosting. No one in Worcester makes it. So I actually have a woman that is she comes to me quarterly for a red velvet with the ermine frosting. And so I have tweaked it for some people. I do it with a cream cheese mixture for some, but there's others that only, it really is because it's not overly
carrot cake. Oh my
God. It's not overly sweet.
Yeah.
It's a perfect blend of things. So yeah, it was probably the ermine.
Yeah. And my mom, my Nana died and stuff like that when she was 92. My mom's actually 92 now, but, and my grandmother died when she was 92, but she, and I remember that for some reason. Like I remember being upstairs, like in the house, and we would always go to like Woodhouse Bakery and get those, the bulkies.
Yes.
And they were all warm still. And you put the butter on them. Then you can't even get those. Like everything that was like home.
Yeah.
It's almost like you have to recreate home. And I feel like
you really
why
do.
we're having this conversation.
You really
I feel like you're doing that.
I
feel like you're doing that for your customers. I feel like you're doing that for yourself. I feel like you're doing that for every single person that meets you. Your energy is powerful and amazing. And you put that all into your sweets. And I think that people need that now. We need this now. People need this feeling now.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like it connects us, right? So I really make some good Italian cookies. I have some older friends, Italian friends that have given me recipes and they're like, oh, you did it better than my mom. It came out great. But the goal isn't to do it better. It's really just to connect people. I want people to feel that sense of what it was like growing up and having, some homemade desserts and sweets that they grew up on.
I love that.
Yeah.
So guys, we are going to go on a see. I told you this is going to go by fast. We are going to go by a quick break, and we're going to come back. Actually, we'll talk a little bit more about her fashion designing and things like that she did for a while, because now we're kind of getting into that path. So my name is SuSanity Ouellette. I am the host here of SuSanity Life Show on Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. I'm here with Tamara Barry. We're talking about her amazing Mozelle's business, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Oscar Kane, producer at Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection, and we'd like to wish you and yours a happy holiday season.
Tune in to Affirmations with Alex, and together we will affirm our way to a healthier mindset by listening to empowering messages. Hi, I'm Alex from Affirmations with Alex. Join me every Monday through Thursday at 10 p.m. on Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection.
Hey, what's up, Worcester? It is Jacqueline Carr, and I'm inviting you to be inspired with me each weekday morning starting at 5 a.m. with the Jacqueline Carr Show on Unity Radio. I'll get you going with the motivating words, special guests, and the absolute best inspirational music, and a few other surprises. But you got to tune in to Unity Radio every day at 5 a.m. to get your praise on. It's the Jacqueline Carr Show from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. right here on Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection, and also streaming on WUTY.org.
Unity Radio is streaming at WUTY979FM.org. We'd like to thank our listeners and supporters.
Blackstone Valley Chamber of Commerce, preserving and enhancing the economic vitality of the Blackstone Valley. BlackstoneValley.org. Michelangelo's Gentleman's Barbershop in Worcester. And Bernardi's Formal Wear. Formal wear specialist since 1923. Bernardis.com.
Unity Radio, Worcester's Community Connection. Hi, I'm Ernie Floyd, host of the Unity in the Community Show on Unity Radio 97.9. Join me and my guest as we discuss topics on embracing our diverse cultural communities, the music, the arts, and healthy lifestyles. I'm Ernie Floyd, host of the Unity in the Community Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. on Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection.
You're listening to Unity 97.9 FM, WUTY. Let's talk, Worcester.
Well, hello, guys. Welcome back to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. My name is SuSanity. I'm the host here at the SuSanity Live Show. Super excited to be here with my little Christmas hat on. I cannot believe still that Christmas is next week. It boggles me that this year went by so fast. We've already had snow, not a lot of snow, but enough snow, right? And we're all getting ready to go, and Christmas parties and, Christmas treats and Christmas cooking and Christmas gifts and stuff. And I think one of the things that we forget is the real truth about Christmas, right? And the real reason why we celebrate Christmas. And it's not about that. It's not about gifts. It's not about food. It's not about people. It's not about anything like that. It's about the one thing that gave us the ability to be humans, right? And that's Jesus. That's God. That's Holy Spirit. It's that. And I think we forget that. And I think that I feel like this year, for some reason, is going to be a much stronger connection to that in whatever way you believe in it, whether you believe in it Buddha, or you believe in Drop Dead Fred, or you believe in God is God, or you believe in Holy Spirit, or you believe in Indians or Native American or whatever. It's all the same. We're all one, right? We're all connected to the divine. We've been connected to the divine since the day that we were conceived and born, right? So take time at least to acknowledge that and be grateful for that, because if you don't understand what's happening in your life, good or bad, it's because you're learning lessons every day, whether they're good or bad. And the reason is because we're not listening sometimes. And so when we took our break, Tamara and I were talking about that. And when we were talking about the crocheting, she actually originally wanted to be a fashion designer. She went to college for it. She didn't know what to do with it, but she was pushing towards it. And then at one point she wrote here that at one point she was calling home crying all the time. And while I wanted to do something creative and I love fabric stitch, I had a professor, whatever, someone said something not nice to her, and got into textiles, UMass, Dartmouth, and all that. But then she said that something happened with her because of 9/11, right? And that working in the industry during 9/11 drew her closer to God, as there were people that died. And how many people know people that died during 9/11? That was catastrophic. It was awful. It was one of the biggest awakenings of the world anyone could have seen. And it brought us together with America and the United States of flag, and all these things came together. But now it seems like, and I don't know, maybe you feel this way too, but I feel like since we had that catastrophic event with COVID, people, even though they want to come together, they're so afraid now to come together for some reason. And that's what we need to do. We need to come together. So let's talk a little bit about that whole story that we just talked about. So you were talking about you were in school, for fashion, and then tell the story to our viewers, what you just told me.
So I was working so this is after college. I'm working for a, what company was I working for? I think it was Susan Bristol. I don't even remember. I think it was Susan Bristol out in Brockton area. And I was scheduled to go into New York on September 10th for just a day meeting. And September 9th, that Sunday, I just had an unction that the Holy Spirit was telling me not to go. And I'm like, I don't know how to tell my boss. I don't know what she believes. I don't know how to tell my boss, hey, I'm getting an unction from the Holy Spirit. I shouldn't get on this plane. Right? Because that's what I would expect.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would be.
So, I remember telling a cousin of mine, and I'm like, and she's like, you need to go with that and just call her. And I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna look like a nut. Let me just go. So I go, things are going pretty quickly, no problems. They're like, you know what, you're gonna get out of the meeting even quicker than we scheduled. We're gonna get you on the next flight. Great. Get to the airport, it's pouring, nothing, things got canceled, rerouted. At this point, everybody's canceled. Nothing's flying out of New York. And so I said, okay, I'm going to probably have to stay in New York. Let me try to get a hotel. Everything's booked. I call my mom and I said, it's probably about 10 o'clock at this time. I call my mom and I said, listen, I'm not coming home tonight. I'm going to drive. And she's like, oh, are you tired? I'm like, I'm dead tired. She's like, you're not driving. So I stay put. I'm at the airport, just homeless. I end up meeting this woman. I wish I could remember her name. And she, like myself, single mom, was raised by a single mom and a sister. And so I have an older sister. And she said, I'm coming into town from California to visit my sister and my mom. And we had tea at the bar and we parted ways. Before she left me though, she gave me this cassette. And she said, are you a Christian? I said, I am. And she's like, I don't ever do this, but I want to give this to you. And it had her, and she said, I'm going to give you my information. Great. I put everything in my folder because I'm like, when we get settled and I get a chance to listen, I'll reach out to her. We'll stay in contact. And she went to one end of the airport to wait for her flight. I went to the other end. The next day, so we're stuck. The car service is in contact with me like, hey, we know you're stuck in New York. We're going to be there first thing in the morning. Let's get you on the first flight. Yeah, and I said, I'm on the first flight, 6:45 or 7:45. It was an hour, so I think it was like 7 o'clock was the first flight. I land, I get into the car service, and he's like, I know you had a long day. You were homeless for a night at the airport, like lay down, get comfortable. So I do that. I hear him say, oh my God. And what? Oh, nothing. Lay back down. Don't worry. Do you want a blanket? I said, yeah, okay. I hear him say, oh my God, again. I'm like, all right, I'm up. What's going on? It's like the towers were hit. Immediately, I call my cousin, my mom, because now I'm like, nobody knows that I'm okay. And we lost people that we worked with. While they didn't work at the time with us, they went to TJX and they worked there. And that was devastating. Yeah. But in that moment, I was thankful to God because I said, you told me not to go.
And you listened.
I did not listen.
Kind of listened.
I did not listen. I should not have gone, but I'm glad that he gave me other opportunities to listen, right? And thankful that it wasn't devastating to my family. So yeah, that was an interesting time.
It really was. I was pregnant with Michael at the time. Michael was born, and Mike was born on the 24th of September of 2001.
Wow. Yeah, there were a lot of travesties, but there were blessings in all of that as well, because there were people that were spared that we don't know, how many people got derailed going somewhere else or
no, we don't. And we have to, by the grace of God.
And so the interesting part about the story is that I go and I look for this woman's information because immediately I'm like, did she make it home? And I see the cassette tape that she gave me. and a cassette tape. Yeah, that's how.
Oh, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I don't find her business card. I find nothing with her name on it that I wrote down her information, nothing. And I said, I'm not going to get rid of this folder, this binder until I find it because it's in here. It got tucked away somewhere and I've misplaced it, but I'm going to find it. Days, months, when I tell you years, I did not get rid of that binder until 2010. And I was listening one day, like in February. So this happens in September. February, I'm at work and I said, let me pop in this cassette. I've never heard it. And one of the things they're talking about is, you know, in the garden, when God is like, who told you were naked, right? So who told you were a drug addict? Who told you weren't worthy? What have you? But towards the end of the message, one of the messages was, be careful because you could be entertaining angels. And immediately I thought of this woman. I said, I've never seen her information again. Never was able to locate her. I know we shared information. And so it brings me a little peace to think like there was a moment I was probably entertaining an angel.
Did you tell your grandmother about this story?
I did not. No, I didn't really tell a lot of people.
Only because she didn't pass until 2006.
Right. But I didn't really tell a lot of people because there was also a part of me that knew it might sound a little wonky for people, but yeah. So I'm sharing it tonight.
It's funny how the SuSanity Life show works, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you said that you also talked about how you did sewing a lot.
Yes.
Is that how you got involved in the fashion?
Yeah.
From the sewing? I love sewing.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at it. I need to get one of those. That's what I should ask for. My kid's like, what do you want? I should have a sewing machine.
Sewing machine. Absolutely.
Because I don't need like an expensive one, but I love
You
sewing.
You do need a decent one though. But I had an aunt that every summer she would make my sister and I and her children and nieces, the other nieces, an outfit. And so I just kind of took to it. Never really did it. And I was probably about 12 or 13 when I tried it the first time. I loved it. I still sew. And yeah, it connects me to my grandmother because my grandmother also sewed. And I have my grandmother's sister, she sewed, and she would always talk about, you know, coming to visit her, and we'll just sit at the sewing machine. I'm like, we're not going to do that. But
I'm being at Fanning.
Yes.
And I'm taking sewing class with Mrs. McCarthy.
McGovern.
Yes, McGovern.
And McGovern.
Yes. Yeah. And
Yes.
I remember I used to love it, but hate it.
Yes.
Like trying to like thread the needle.
Yes.
And this is me, like with my reading glasses, trying to get a thing. And I know there's things you can buy that you don't have to do that anymore.
I
but
still
here
do
I
it
am
old
trying to
school.
sew my pants or something, trying to get
Yeah.
them like, oh, Susan, what are you doing?
I think of her often, Mrs. McGovern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else? There was another teacher too that
Mrs. Pody.
Yeah.
She did I think she was like the junior seniors.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, that school. Oh.
I'm glad nothing's wrong with my long term.
Wait, who was the algebra teacher?
Mrs. Zamaro? No.
Yes, Mrs. Tamara was one of them,
Yes.
and then there was another. She was short with dark hair. Tamara had
Traub.
blonde hair.
Was it Traub? Mrs.
No,
Traub?
Traub. Yep, Traub was there too.
Mrs. Zamaro was a dark-haired, short page boy.
Was she? Okay.
cut. Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So wow, that's so crazy. Fanning was definitely an interesting experience. That's for sure. But and I was talking about this too to somebody. I was talking about actually at the clinic today. I was talking about to my client about how I was bullied so badly during school, and how at one point when Facebook came out, me and my friends from school met, and they said to me, which was beautiful. Thank you guys, by the way, if you're listening. They said, we want to apologize to you for if we ever said anything to hurt you.
Wow.
And I said, you did. I said, we had no idea that your father was in a wheelchair your whole life. And we had no idea. And had we known that, we wouldn't have done that. And I said, I'm glad that you did. I said, because if you didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I am now. And that's everything in my life, everything in your life. If we didn't go through what we went through, whether good or bad or crazy or upside down and inside out, we would never be where we are now. We would never have found Ephra. We never would have found anything.
Right.
You know, so anyway, that's how we're gonna
Now,
end
what
this
year
part.
did you go to Fanning? Do we want to talk about that? Okay. Great. I don't either.
When we take a break, we
Okay,
will. Yeah.
perfect.
So, guys, we're going on our last break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk more about Mozelle's. And we're going to talk about the things that the bakery items that she makes and what she can do for you guys. She makes wedding cakes. She does cupcakes. She does cookies, all kinds of. She's going to talk about that. She's going to tell you how to get a hold of her, what's next for her. She's got some events coming up. This is Unity Radio 97.9 FM. My name is Susan Ouellette. I'm the host here at the SuSanity Live Show. We're super excited to be here. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching and listening, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Habib Lamti, Technical Director at Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connections, wishing you and your family happy holidays.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Graham Anderson, also known as Positively Suzanne, host of Black in Business, Thursdays at 5 p.m. on Unity Radio 97.9. Black in Business is a series of conversations with influential members of the Black business community. These entrepreneurs knows what it means to risk everything to create successful businesses and spark positive changes in the community. So join us. Again, I'm Suzanne Graham Anderson, also known as Positively Suzanne, right here on Black in Business, Thursdays at 5 p.m. on Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection.
Tune into the SuSanity Life with Susan Ouellette, and together we will find our way to a healthier, healing lifestyle by listening to empowering stories of overcoming our struggles. Join me, Susan Ouellette, on the SuSanity Life every Wednesday from 5 to 6 on Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Siobhan Myers, your host on Talking Wellness, presented by the Kiva Centers on Unity Radio 97.9 FM. As a licensed mental health professional and leader in the field, I believe every story matters and healing starts with being heard. Whether you're navigating life's challenges or lifting others through theirs, I'm here to explore the paths of mental health, recovery, and wholeness. Tune into Talking Wellness on Unity Radio 97.9 FM every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. for honest conversation and inspiration. This program is sponsored by the Kiva Centers, a statewide leader in peer-led support and recovery services. From Worcester to Western Mass, Kiva is lighting the way forward. Talking Wellness, every voice, every journey. Speak up, be heard, and of course, be well.
What's up, Central Mass? This is Angelo Gray, and we want to thank you for all your support. And you're listening to Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection.
So, guys, welcome back to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. My name is Susan Ouellette, the host here at SuSanity Live Show and the owner of SuSanity in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, where healing and wellness meets peace of mind. Just a little FYI, I do have gift certificates available. So if you're looking for that gift for someone special, a massage, if they're talking about Reiki or polarity or a card reading, maybe they believe in that stuff, I do all of that. I can do it online. I can also do it at my clinic, which I have a beautiful clinic in Sturbridge. It's amazing. It's called SuSanity, and it's right on the main road. And we were just talking, Tamara and I, about we went to school and the connection that we have. So see how God works miracles even when you don't realize he's working miracles, right? And it just filled my heart and soul so much just now, because we were talking about the teachers that we had, and I'm sure we're going to talk more when we get off of here, but it was, yeah, because there's definitely some stuff. But so tell everyone again about Mozelle's. We know that it was you started it, but it became tell people first about the word Mozelle. Like where is that from?
So Mozelle, actually, it's a derivative of Moses, which means drawn from the water, is actually what.
Lord help me. See? More comes out. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
But my grandmother's name, and I always just thought it was very regal. And so it just, to me, it was everything that I want my desserts to represent. So it just made sense that I would name it Mozelle's. I did reach out to like my aunts, my uncle, my mom. Everybody gave me their blessing because in my head, I was like, doesn't matter what they say. But then I was like, I have to honor them. And this is their mom. So I can't just take the name. But they all jumped on board. They loved it.
Oh, I love
They were like,
that.
go for it. Yeah. So
it's an awesome place for sweet treats and amazing creations, but there's a reason behind it. And that's what I love about the show is that bringing people together, and about Unity Radio is about bringing people together and giving you the ability to talk and be present in the moment, because you never know what you have inside of your heart and your soul and your mind that is waiting to come out. You never know what nudges you're getting or the messages that you're receiving. And if we hadn't done that E for All program, I really believe that if we had done that, we never would have met. I don't think. Maybe in the future we would have, but and we wouldn't be able to understand a little bit more about that journey, that part of the journey. And Tamara wouldn't even have realized the name that she wanted to have for her business. And so that's amazing. And that's obviously her grandmother is nudging her right from above, from heaven. And that's amazing too. So tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about what you create, what you've created recently, any of the amazing, testimonials that you've had and things like that, and how to get in touch with you too.
Oh gosh. So there's quite a few testimonials. They're on Google. I love Google for that.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. But this year I wanted to increase my business. And I was able to do so, but I had people reaching out to me, like Amazon, which they have a local, I think in Charlton. They reached out to me for Black History Month for like 900 piece order, which I thought I was going to be, somewhere underneath Flower Dead, but that was successful.
I saw that on Facebook. That was
awesome. Yeah. Anderson Windows, they supported me for Juneteenth for about just under, I think, $450 for their employees. I started doing pop-ups. I don't typically do them, but Acoustic Java opened up their space for me, and he's wonderful.
Oh, he is wonderful.
Yes,
Dave,
yes,
right? His name is,
David Fuller,
owner
of Acoustic Java.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
On Brussels Street. You definitely have to check it out. I'm sure, I know when the school is in session, Holy Cross, I know he's busy, but where they're now like going home for, some or winter break, it's like a good time to support him. But he's been great. I've been there 3 times this year. Start next year looking to do Sterling Street Brewery in Clinton. Mm-hmm. He's got some, I think every Sunday from March till the end of the year, he's looking for vendors. So I've kind of tucked away some dates.
Have you thought about Sturbridge Village? I'm only asking because Kate McAvoy is the
but you just threw out it. I do know Kate McAvoy, so
she was here on the radio,
Oh,
and actually
okay.
I have to reach out to her because I was supposed to
Okay.
give her a massage and stuff, and I had my mother went to
wonderful.
the nursing home and stuff, so it was crazy. But she was here on the radio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they're doing
Okay.
that candlelight thing for
Oh,
Christmas
okay.
right now.
Oh, okay.
I would, because she's very amazing.
She's the influential person.
She
Yeah, okay.
absolutely is.
Yeah.
And she knows a lot of people.
I'm open to expanding.
Yep.
I don't typically do like the farmers markets, the summer items, just because it's hard to keep, perishable goods in the 90-degree weather. I'm not interested in doing that, but I do enjoy going to places and having an opportunity to meet other, new people, expand my business that way. So that's my plan for 2026, and hoping to get some more weddings on the books. I've had quite a few this year. And I do arrange small, big, I've gone as big as a 4-tier cake and as small as a single tier. It's just really whatever the customer is looking for. I'm located, so I don't have a brick and mortar.
Yet.
Is that what you said yet?
Mm-hmm.
Amen. Yet. But I bake out of the Worcester Regional Food Hub, which is located at 2 Washington Square, aka Union Station. And there's, they have quite a few food entrepreneurs that bake out of there. So it's continually, just a 24-hour operation.
You must meet a lot of people there then.
Yeah. So it's
Of different,
like,
different weight,
yeah,
doing
doing
different
jams,
things.
like pickles. There's some really interesting, businesses that are coming out of there.
Oh, I'll have to check
and
that out.
growing. Yes,
I'm going to come visit you so I can see it.
definitely.
Oh, I'll have to talk to some of them about coming on the show.
So absolutely.
Yep.
We can connect with that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Perfect.
So that's where, so everything is custom ordered. So by way of my website, or
which is
www.sweetmozelles.com. Sweet, SWEET, Mozelles, MOZELLES.com, or Facebook, Instagram, and my phone number, YouTube, Google. My phone number's out there. So I take phone calls. I take, on the website is how I prefer it, because I can manage it a little better, because I also do work full time. So,
yeah. So we're going to have all that on our page. And, if you need to get a hold of Tamara, now you know how to do it. And I'm so grateful that you came to join me today. Thank you so much. I hope it went good.
It did. This was like a year and a half in the making.
Yeah, we've been, yeah. It's okay though. So, sometimes I think I've been doing this now for 5 years. So for me, it's kind of like, I love that. I love people coming on and talking about their journey, because somebody else, some young little girl, 18 years old, might be listening to this, or her mother might be listening to this, or somebody that she knows might be, or a gentleman or a boy that might be listening, they might want to do something like this. And you never know who you're going to influence and who you're going to give that joy to. Right. So it's so worth it, So
Absolutely.
Guys, we are done, and we won't be here next week because it is Christmas. And we're super excited about that. But if you do know somebody, I'm going to have the taco dude come on at some point. I just found out who they are. I had no idea who they were, but now I know, and I actually know them. Yep, tacos are amazing. And they just opened in Leicester.
Oh, okay.
They took over that little shop like right after Hillcrest on the right, and then they had their little truck too. So so they're going to come on the radio, and if you know anyone or you yourself want to join us here at the SuSanity Live Show and tell your journey, or just get your advertisement out there about what you're doing, please feel free to reach out to us on Messenger, or me on Susan T. Ouellette Messenger, or Oscar. He's happy to, take the messages too. And we want to wish you guys the happiest and merriest Christmas ever. Sending you so much love, and we will see you guys another time. My name is Susan T. Ouellette of the SuSanity Live Show here at Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. Have a great night, you guys. Peace out.